Ooh.
Okay, we should be live now, guys. Go ahead.
All right. Do we have our music on yet?
No, we're on camera on this gameplay.
You just hate
and listen to us
countdowns, right?
talk.
That's what it is here. You just hate countdowns.
There was no countdown? There was no
Yeah,
count off or
it's just
something?
start.
All right, well, here we
Tripping the
are.
timer.
Welcome to the show. Welcome, fellow gaming enthusiasts, to the Somewhat Petty Podcast. As you can tell, we are off to a good start. Leveling up your day or night as we dive into another petty episode of the latest gaming news, with, of course, a little bit of banter. Grab your controllers, saddle in, and let the podcast begin. I'm your host, All Day Wong. Joining me today, the next big thing on Twitch, Dorky Raptor, or just Dorky, as he has it there. Next, we got blowing down the doors, the big, the bad, Mr. Wolfgang. And you already know it's going to be a super special episode because we got Toledo Frito in the house. Welcome back.
Who doesn't know how to use caps? Capital letters.
I just noticed that. And last but not least, running the show, keeping the pod and the lights on, Dusty AF. And he's in a mood today, guys. Let's get started. All right. So with that, we got a pretty jam-packed episode today. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to everything today because I know Will has a lot to say about the biggest game of 2024 so far. But with that, we are going to go over a little bit of news on top of that. But before we do that, guys, let's talk about how's it going? Who wants to go first? How about you, Dorky? What are you up to? How you doing?
Nothing gaming related, but I've been a big fan of more Gunplas, and I built one actually a perfect grade. Gundam play or something like that. I think that's what it was. Gunpla. So I built a perfect grade. I just finished the main everything. It's a pretty big size, maybe about like maybe over 10 inches tall, and it was really fun to do. I enjoyed it a lot, and I just got to do the details. But other than that, that was most of my evenings after work and some weekend. So it's been fun.
Nice. How about you, Toledo? How you been, man? What you doing?
I've been good. I've been working a lot. I'm currently on call right now, so I think I'm gonna jump into some games while I'm waiting. So
very nice.
So
Anything on deck?
We can call you like in 2 seconds.
Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom, baby.
Yeah.
There it is.
Should have been game of the year. Yeah.
Man, screw you, Baldur's Gate.
Well, I'm glad to hear the penny came with you. Dusty AF, how about you?
So I've been actually, still hitting the gym. You know how it is. But also, I finally played a game. This might be the first game I played the entire year.
Oh my goodness!
I know, this is wild. This is wild right here. I played the so controversial, the Pokemon clone, the Pokemon done right, Xbox exclusive. Phil Spencer brought it home for us, starting the year right for us. Master Cheeks.
Palworld. Why do you keep saying Xbox exclusive? It's on Steam and Epic.
So are all the other Xbox games, So yes.
Oh man.
I actually played it with Wolfgang.
Yeah. Well, what game are you talking about?
I said Palworld. The one that's exclusive to the Xbox.
Sure. It's not. But yes, I am also playing this game with Dustin. Well, twice with Dustin.
Man, y'all, see, y'all messed it up. I guess I should have went before Dustin. I was trying to get to everybody before Wolfgang just dug right into Palworld. But Dustin had to take some of that fire. The one time he gets excited for a game. But all right. All right, Wolfgang. Go. Okay. Wolfgang, hold it. Before you continue on Palworld, real quick, I was like, for me, me and my daughter were looking to start our rewatch of Haikyuu. Get us hyped about volleyball. She has volleyball coming up next month. I got it coming up this weekend. I'm excited. But gaming wise, I did pick up something that I highly, highly do regret. And that is The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Why I regret it? Not because the game's terrible. The game is actually absolutely amazing. But just paying that full sticker price of $50, that hurt. That hurt a lot. I feel like this is probably something I feel like it's something I probably could have waited 3-4 months and it would probably be like half that price.
You should have.
Or if
Isn't it like a $60 game?
No, it's actually 50. They have it.
Well, yeah, when it came out, it was $60.
Yeah, when it first came out. But yeah, the remastered I think came out at like $49.99 or $59.99. $49.99, I think it was. I was like, yeah, that was still way more than I wanted to, because I could have bought it at the end of like last year for like $10, and then I could have upgraded for $10 more, total of 20 instead of 50. So I hate myself for it, but again, it is an amazing game. I'm about, thanks to PlayStation, it tells me I'm about like 25% in. Maybe 6-7 hours. I'm loving it so far. Looks fantastic. I don't think it needed a remastered, but I am enjoying the remaster. But with that, Wolfgang, tell us what you're doing. Tell us what it's all about. Lay it on us.
You want to just jump straight to it? I don't know, man. This is a big conversation here.
I think you're
We have plenty of time.
Well, as Justin said, yeah, we played a lot of Palworld. I'm not gonna say this is game of the year. It's game of the year so far, I guess, because I've only played like 3 or 4 games this year. It made me pause Chivalry. It's no longer my go-to game when I'm waiting for something. It made me pause Final Fantasy VII Remake because I just want to get back to Palworld. I like it so much that I'm considering buying it on Xbox. Right now I'm playing it through PC Game Pass, through my Steam Deck. And yes, I have Windows running on the Steam Deck to play the PC games, whatever. But I like it enough.
On the Steam Deck. Told you.
Yeah, it's on a Steam Deck. It's Windows on a Steam Deck. But I like it enough that I will buy it on Xbox whenever Debbie has time to play. I'm going to buy it on Xbox so we can play it together. It's going to be her second game she plays besides Apex.
Is it cross-save?
Xbox ecosystem. So the PC version, the Microsoft version, and the Xbox version.
And I did hear that. I did hear that the goal is for them to have it crossplay among Steam and Game Pass version.
Yeah,
so that is the goal. So at some point, it should be up to par with the Steam edition.
Yeah, right now Steam is a little ahead on some of the versions. They made it clear
it's a lot ahead.
It's not ahead versions; they're just different versions.
I think that's how every game is. Because remember when Hunter played Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk was like had ray tracing, and then on Xbox it was like just dull.
Exactly what I said too. Yeah, it's not the same thing. It's not
I think that's why people play
PC.
Yeah, I don't think this is the same though, because I think with Cyberpunk that was a hardware issue. I think this
hardware.
Yeah, this is more like on the PlayStation, or I'm sorry, the Xbox side. It might still be going through QC. They might have a little more loops they have to jump.
Yeah,
more
that's
than
what they
Steam.
said too. It has to get. Yeah.
There's more certifications.
Yeah, Phil Spencer doesn't throw crap on it unless it's Redfall,
You also have to remember it's early release. It's not an official release. It's an early release. So early access. I'm sorry, early access. So and they're expecting more feedback. But yeah,
that was the big point that I wanted to bring it up. I know Walter hates early access. He's just like, early release, early access, open beta, whatever.
I ain't got time for unfinished stuff.
What did you say?
I mean, if you still do post stuff, if you still get post DLC stuff to fix it, are you still playing a launch product?
Hold on. Walter says he doesn't have time for this unfinished stuff, but he put 80 hours in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
That's finished. But it was finished.
But they do updates.
Did it say game preview? Bro.
Did it say game preview on it? They still haven't fixed it, so it's finished.
So they take off game preview. You would like it more?
If this was the finished product, I would play it because it's the finished product. That's it. That's done. Like I know it's not going to get better after this period.
So you're saying Pokemon didn't get better the more you played it?
It
No.
didn't get better. No, like I mean, but it's done. Like they never came back to it. They still haven't came back to it. It
What are you
didn't
talking
say
about? We got
early
DLC.
access.
They released
We
DLC
got
for
we
it.
got DLC that also
DLC
fixed
is not the
problems.
same thing, guys. I was
It's
like,
still, I
DLC.
mean, technically you're downloading content and patches.
That's
I
additional
do agree
content.
with Walter that it is different. Like, the exception is Cyberpunk. I think with Cyberpunk, where they just released the 2.0 update, that should have been the game. The Phantom Liberty is the DLC, and that was great.
Yeah.
You know, won awards or whatever. But that 2.0
Cyberpunk's
update beforehand,
that's a
that
perfect
should have been part of the
example.
game.
I didn't want anything to do with Cyberpunk because it was broken AF. But now it's like I can't wait for it to be on sale again and me to pick it up and play it.
See,
Like, you know what I mean?
and
It's done.
that's why I'm so
I'm with you.
excited
I'm
that
with you, Wong. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that when Cyberpunk was going through all that nonsense and they got delisted from the stores, I actually bought it for $5 at Best Buy, physical copy with the steelbook, with the postcards and all that stuff. $5 Best Buy, and now I have it, physical. I can plug it in, put it in the Xbox, and have all the
But
updates.
it's still you're playing early access Palworld.
They need to limit their early access times, man. Some games are on early access for years.
Oh
That's
yeah.
true. Look at Star Citizen. Star
PUBG.
Citizen's been around for what, a decade now? How old is that game?
The good thing though about Palworld is the immediate success that it's having should light a fire under them to complete it. Because I think I read somewhere that the devs are saying they're about 60% done with the game.
Yeah.
So
And they have another game coming up too. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I don't know. I think with
like a
success
roadmap.
now it's like 20% done. They're just gonna keep adding and adding.
I agree with Dustin too. That's
Mhm.
what Among Us did. Among Us had an Among Us 2 coming out, but then Among Us 1 took off, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna scrap 2 and just keep updating the first one because they made money from it. And I think Paul was gonna do the same thing. I do think that even though it has the early access tag on it, this is probably the least early access game I've played so far. Like even Valheim had more bugs, had less to do than this game does.
Does Palworld have microtransactions?
No, don't think so. Not yet.
I don't think they will.
Not yet.
I think I don't think they will, because the whole point is just to grind the game out. I think they're gonna the most they could have maybe like
Amiibo. Dorky, Will let Dorky say something, or Wolfgang let Dorky say something. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, it's hard to hear through the headset here.
He's like, no, Palworld survival games, it's the greatest.
Turn off the fan, man. No, so you also got to remember, Among Us was out for about 2 years before it successfully took off. And it was out for 2 years, so they probably already had those plans for Palworld. Among Us 2 for a while. But once they realized that they could do a lot better for the Among Us, for the popularity, they just focused on that. But Palworld, you have to remember the developers. They've done some previous work. Some of them, not everyone, but they did a lot of
at Game Freak.
They did a lot of similarities. Like one of them, their Craft World, was a literal copy and paste of Breath of the Wild. So now, will this game also be considered like a copycat? Because there's been a lot of false information and stuff being spread online about it, talking about that they're stealing or tracing or copy and pasting Pokemon.
They're using AI
and stuff like that. But it's been debunked a lot lately. And it's like, I mean, I don't know how much of it, but other than that, Palworld seems to be. I haven't jumped on it yet because I'm still a little iffy about survival craft games because
tree punching games.
Because me and Wolfgang were playing Minecraft, and then I also was trying to play Lego Fortnite, which is also a survival craft with similar mechanics. And like, I don't know how many survival crafts I can enjoy right now. Maybe it's just I just don't feel like learning more stuff. I just want to jump in.
Now. Is it like on Steam? Isn't there like another tree punching game coming out like this week that's getting like overshadowed now, despite it being like on the top 5
Enshrouded.
Steam wish list?
Enshrouded.
Yeah.
Another
tree punching game. Yeah.
So many.
I know my tree punchers.
It's just like, oh, how many farm simulators do we need? How many survival games do we need? How many, like, after a while, you like even when Battle Royale, when Fortnite and all them started taking off, do you know how many battle royale related stuff have been coming out at once just because of the popularity? It's like if you copy and paste a lot or just take the same mechanics, it's like you're just adding to the pool when you already have one major hit, and how you're gonna improve from that based off of that, you know? So, but other than that, Power World, I started looking at more information of some of the mechanics, some of the stuff that you can do, and I'm just like, okay, I might be interested, but just not right now. I'm working on
You
other
can eat
games
your
right now.
pals.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I can eat my pals. You can also capture a human and sell it on the black
Yeah.
market.
No,
And I'm
you
just
could eat
like,
Pokemon too, like the Moo Tank, little tank.
The Wu
oh,
Tang.
and you gotta also remember there was a mod that this guy who completely replaced all the
Yeah,
characters with Pokemon characters,
I missed my
which is a
window.
character.
and Nintendo already immediately reached out and said no, stop.
We're
So
done.
yeah,
Yeah,
they say
they
we're
like
done.
that
Don't
IP.
do that.
But oh, what was I gonna say? I forgot now. I did think you're
As,
kind of right. You're talking about shoot,
as
you're
soon
talking about
as
the
soon as
other
I
game.
started seeing previews for this, the first thing I thought was this is a Wolfgang game. Like I remember I messaged Justin. I was like, this is more of a Wolfgang game than it is a Pokemon game. Like
See, I remember now. So you were talking about it being a clone. Yeah, you're kind of right that it's clone, but I don't know of any other Pokemon clone or nearby clone. Like even Zelda had Genshin Impact that came out and that took off really well. PUBG, spawned Fortnite and that's also doing really well. I do think this one has the potential to do really well, especially if the developers can put more time into it. But I really don't remember anything like Pokemon besides Pokemon. Remember Digimon, but I don't remember playing any games for Digimon.
that's
I
funny. I really didn't get a Pokemon feel from what I played.
Yeah, I can see why you didn't. And I also don't think it's that much like Pokemon. I mean, yeah, you capture little, animals inside what are
I feel like
Pokeballs.
it's more of an aspect of the survival game than
Yeah,
like the game.
I can see that too. Because I feel
Yeah.
I
like
think it's
Pokemon, the whole game
Pokemon
is catch
Arceus
'em
done
all.
right.
Oh
That's
my
just my
gosh.
opinion. You know.
I don't know.
Never played
My
a tutorial.
Arceus maybe I gotta say Arceus when it came out was a big change compared to the old Pokemon games of just turn-based, sprites after sprites. That was like real-time capture and everything. You know what? Pokemon Legend Arceus was the revolutionary game that they were trying to attempt to do, which was I'm glad I got to play it. I enjoyed it. I understand that they had to do a different story and it wasn't truly a main line, but it was more like their little side
It
project.
should just become the main line.
It should have been mainline, but and then with Scarlet and Violet, but I have to agree with one friend said. If they got the best of Arceus and the best of Scarlet and Violet and put that together, maybe that would be like the main Pokemon game right there. But that depends what it is because like I like the capturing aspects of Arceus, but I also like the quick XP fighting in Scarlet and Violet because I don't have time. I don't always have all the time
Oh yeah, the battles
just
were
to
quick.
grind. So it's just and comparing it to Power World, yeah, I think what most people say is more like Arc survival game, that Arc survival
Yeah,
than an actual Pokemon game because
it
where
really is more like that. Yes.
because Pokemon isn't survival. I mean, you don't have to go and eat. It's just you're not starving. You're not crafting. You're just basically the most you can craft in Scarlet and Violet is just sandwiches,
No, I would say if
delicious
Pokemon made
sandwiches.
a survival game, that would be kind of cool.
Oh
It's
I
man,
will
it's-
say, if Pokemon Arceus came on the Nintendo 64, I think I would have been impressed.
Oh my gosh.
you haven't played enough Pokemon games in the day. All right,
There you
so
go. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, you haven't played enough
I
Pokemon
played
games.
Let's Go, and what was the other one that came
No.
out before Arceus?
Let's go was for the
Shoot.
mobile gamers.
Sword and Shield.
The
There you
one-
go. Those are
and
good. Those are
what
good.
Pokemon Sleep.
Oh, and I did Pearl, and I did Fire Red.
Now here's my prediction
Valid.
though for Power World because look right now, yeah, we have the chart, we have the Steam charts. Close to like we had 879,000
That's concurrent players.
concurrent players.
Right now.
It's peaked
Right in that
almost to
minute.
2 million. The all-time peak yesterday was 2 million, and
Yeah.
it's successful right now. It is going big. They've have 8 million players already playing it.
Steam loves their survival games, their tree punching
Yeah.
games. Though I was like,
And yeah, that too. The we only have the data for Steam. Doesn't include Epic. Doesn't include Xbox. Doesn't include Game Pass. This is just the Steam numbers, and it's
Yeah.
already close. It's number 2, only on Steam. It's insane for any video game.
Now the thing is though, because my prediction is this: it's gonna hold off up to a certain point, but then eventually it's gonna wear off. Unlike Pokemon, who's had a franchise going on, merchandise, because the games, merchandise,
hey, the new
anime,
anime comes out like next month.
plushies, freaking clothes with Pokemon's on it. Everyone knows Pikachu's a household name.
Yeah, the
And-
brand of Pikachu is
But I don't
is
think
up there.
Palworld is like that one instance that people think it's gonna Pokemon killer, but I think it's his own unique thing. But I don't think it's gonna take off as much as like Pokemon with a franchise established over the years. I think they're just gonna update the game and then that's it. And I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
That's my prediction.
Here's a question. Here's a question for everybody. Do y'all think Palworld is a flash in the pan, or do you think this hype is going to hold out till its full release, at the very least?
I think it won't be as big as it is now, but it'll still be pretty big when the full release. I think when the full release comes out, people that play it now will go back and play the full release. People kind of like you. You said you played 30 minutes of it. People that played probably like an hour,
2 hours.
2 hours,
It was terrible.
2 hours. People that played probably as much as
Okay.
you did, and we're like, oh, I'll just go
As
back
soon
to
as the
whatever
hype
game.
starts dying on Palworld,
I'm joking.
they're
like,
gonna drop it on
1
PlayStation,
hour.
and then once that starts dying, they're gonna drop it on Switch too, and then that's it.
This game is
Then the hype
sacrilegious.
will die like 2 or 3 years after that.
What was I telling you?
This game is sacrilegious. I refuse to play it.
Thank you. No,
I'm a lifelong Pokemon fan. This is a slap in the face.
thank you. So I think we'll touch on that for an early access. It's one of the higher end ones. He's right. I do avoid the early access games. Like I said, I just I have 10 to 15 hours a week. I gotta finish games, not beta test early access ones. But in just my play, the first things that kind of stood out to me was like blurry textures. I think mainly on the ground. I was like, ill. Weapon icons. There was just like certain icons in the corner of my screen that were just like either missing or just like a blur. I was like, okay, like it's just still things like that pop in, of course. And I know that's on a lot of games. But yeah, there were some pretty nasty pop-ins. I remember when I was looking at it. You couldn't edit your character. They told you that though. They gave you the disclaimer, like in the future, you'll be able to like edit your character. I guess like the way they look and stuff.
Once again, this guy put 80 hours in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
And
He's like, he said, as soon as I turn on Palworld, the thing I noticed was holding my Xbox controller.
but no, you say that though. But with Pokemon, like that's a finished game. Like Palworld, I already know it's gonna. Per the devs, it's gonna be 40% better when it's done. Per the devs. But yeah, what's up, Toledo?
So, do you think that since the Pokemon Company is seeing the success of this style of game, with, let's just be honest, with Pokemon, do you think that they're gonna try to make their team or their next game literally be this exact type of game as the new
Not even close.
I think
They don't care. They don't care.
They're open world.
They have their
They're
patch set.
starting
And they're
open
just
world. They're starting all this new
shit.
stuff. So I mean,
I'll give you a perspective based off of what I've seen with Pokemon. The game has to be accessible to every player of either age. The game also has to make it easier for people to be able to join in as it's the first time playing it. Let's Go Pokemon Let's Go games. We're really catering to the people who downloaded Pokemon Go because it did the same mechanics. Every game has like its own unique mechanic to kind of differentiate from the other. That's why we don't see. But also, how do you make it more accessible to people? How do you make it more accessible to where they just enjoy the game and play through it? Now, it's evolved over the years. Am I gonna go back to Red and Blue? No, because it is a very slow game, very slow grind. I loved it. I grew up with it, but I don't have the time now, like I did as a kid, to like grind away. So Pokemon, they know exact. They have developers. Game Freak has developers that kind of focus on the important stuff to cater to them. And Power World is more catering to the people who just like survival craft. That's why you have all these bosses. They just have like a bit almost similarities, but there's a whole different genre all in its own. I don't think it's gonna make Nintendo or the Game Freak.
I should
I
have
don't.
clarified. I didn't essentially mean survival craft. I guess I was referring to like the new 3D look to it and how
Oh,
successful like the look of the game is, like having an open world game with creatures like animated
Oh,
creatures.
but have you played Scarlet and Violet? Because that's literally what they done.
Yeah,
Well,
but
you don't look
the
this cool.
they done open world. You
graphics
go.
don't look like this.
Oh, you want the game to be like at a higher fidelity and
Yeah,
a higher graphics. Well,
yeah.
the limitation is the hardware. We're on a Switch. That thing's what 7 years old now.
Switch
One
2,
thing,
Switch 2's coming out.
you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Toledo. Another thing I kind of noticed, and I don't think this is a part of the early access. I think this just might be the game. Uh, you're talking about the way it looks. I do kind of feel like the character model, the pals, and the world all look like three different, like completely different, like
Oh,
games.
like the aesthetics don't match each other, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did get that vibe that this is like a engine, Unreal Engine 5 demo type of game.
Yeah, like they use the store assets. I think there was
Yeah.
talk about they may have done that, but then they're like, no, we didn't do that. No.
Yeah. And again, yeah, like I said, I don't think that's early access. I think that's just what the game, like how the game kind of turned out. And that wasn't a big deal. Everything I listed was nothing was honestly a big game changer for me. For me, it was just it's the early access part. Like I said, okay, I'll wait. Like this is cool, but I'll wait till it's done and I'll see where the hype is around there. Because
Yeah, I can see that. But and the list that you did make, I'm like that's not just part of early access. Like not naming characters. I think many games didn't even Skyrim, you couldn't change how your character actually looked until one of the updates they released the race modifier. There are a bunch of games where they're just weak.
On Steam, you could actually nickname your pals. I think that would also go a long way. For me, like if you're not going to give me Pokemon, let me at least name them. That way, I care that much a little more about them. You know what I mean? Because like really saying the brand recognition with Pokemon, like I catch a Pikachu, I caught a Pikachu. This is cool. But like I catch, I don't know any of their names, but it's like let me give it a funny name, and then all of a sudden it becomes a little more personable for me.
Yeah, like
That's something they're gonna add to.
like my ticket tank on Scarlet. I named it. It's a Pokemon with the big hammer. I named it Jim Adler.
That's right. Your shiny one, right? Yeah.
No, it's a hammer. It's a hammer Pokemon.
Okay.
The one where she's walking around with the big hammer.
Yes. Yeah.
But
The
yeah,
Texas Hammer?
Yeah. I'll send you a
hammer.
picture. I'll send you a picture, Wolfgang. I'll send you a picture. But yeah, no. Other than that, right now it is the big talk of the thing, and Nintendo.
I know it completely overshadowed two potential Game of the Year nominees in Tekken 8 and Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth.
Well, I mean, people are still looking forward to Tekken 8 and Like a Dragon, but like.
I have been hearing really good things about Like a Dragon.
But also Tekken 8 right now, it just got released, but their servers are getting bogged, so matchmaking is really broken right now. So they're having some troubles right now at release, which you do these betas to test network, to test this, but how much? But come on, day one should be working fine. Come on.
Yeah,
So-
they've been around long enough. This isn't Palworld, you know what I mean? Like,
Other than that, I mean, I'll eventually play it, but I'll probably play it once they officially announce crossplay. Then I can play with people because crossplay. Personally, I think crossplay is it's always been the future of gaming because once we start getting crossplay, we don't have to worry about what system do we have when we have to buy the same consoles just to play with each other. That's extra money. And like mom and dad bought me a Switch and said like, oh, you can't play with your friends and because everyone else has a system that's different. No, crossplay actually helps a lot of people get together regardless of what platform that they're on. Which I hope that could be the continuous trend for the future. It's just I know that there's some businesses they want to keep enclosed for their own in their own little ecosystem. But yeah, that's maybe I'll probably jump on Palworld once we get crossplay for sure.
Yeah, which
You
might
want to
come
play
at
on
the
your
full release.
PC? Disgusting.
No, that's another thing on Steam too. Like, what is it? Like, you can have like 30 people in the world. I just thought that
servers.
was
Yeah.
that would be. I don't think I have 30 friends, but that's pretty cool. I was like, yeah, like if I could just have like us 6 or I'm sorry us 5 in there, that would be cool. I know that's only one more than 4, but like I don't know, the more like in this kind of game, I feel like more the merrier, and that just sounds like a cool concept to me. Like I said, I'm more excited for the full release. Like it sounds like it's going to be fun because I was generally excited about this beforehand, but of course, as the previews came out, the survival, the tree punching and all that kind of deterred me a bit. But I'm glad it's as good as it is, and like I said, I'm looking forward to the full release. I just hope it doesn't come out next to like Metaphor or something I'm like Stellar Blade, like something I'm super excited for.
It's not coming out next month. Don't worry.
Yeah. Next month. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then next month is Rebirth, and then the month after that is Dragon's Dogma 2. It's like Jesus Christ. Like, come on.
It's a bad day to be an RPG fan.
Yeah. It's like
it's a very bad day for RPG fans.
I was like, hell, wouldn't like Palworld kind of fall in the JRPG area?
Because you have anime characters.
Yeah, I haven't.
You just go to a survival game.
So RPGs are usually you level up and you get better equipment and you fight bosses. You fight bosses in this, so technically it's an RPG. So
and the developer I think is Japanese, right? Who's the developer again?
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Like, one of the dudes
there you go.
You guys. So racist.
I got added to the quest.
Oh, yeah, that kind of we should say that. They've been trying to get away from the term JRPG because it feels like it's like it denounces like that the Japanese players always
like
the Japanese
Xbox players don't want to play it.
Yeah, something like that. There was like a whole thing about it.
See, it used to be when I heard JRPG, I thought turn-based. Always turn-based with JRPGs.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's less so now.
Yeah. Well, just in Final Fantasy alone, like I feel like
7 and 16, yeah.
Yeah, those break it.
15 too wasn't turn-based. 14 wasn't turn-based. Jeez, they're really moving away from turn-based, huh?
Yeah, I think that's what was the plan, is they were trying to get away from the turn-based mechanics.
Well, the Trials of Mana are action-based. The Tales of the Mana series too.
There's been a lot of turn from turn-based RPGs.
Series?
But I mean, Square Enix is still kind of filling in for those for the turn-based with like some of their. It was Live Alive, Octopath Traveler, and stuff like that. The people that want to play old school RPGs, old school JRPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chain that was made by like a French developer group, and I'm sure people call that a JRPG because it's
but yeah, I recommend Palworld. You can wait till the full release. I won't blame you. I do think this is one of the better early access, like I said earlier. If you want to play, I am willing to play. Having a lot of fun with it. Go and jump on, just see what is going on. Want to give your Pokemon a gun? I'm almost there to guns. I almost have a gun. Been playing for 8 hours, 9 hours.
The grind for guns is expensive?
It's just long. I play maybe like an hour and a half a day.
Okay.
And Toledo, you're not gonna touch Palworld?
Like, I don't explore. I build my base up. Like I'm just like I capture Pokemons. I put them to work. They start working. Mining the rocks.
Pokemon, the pals.
Yeah, pals.
I'm starting to get hints like they're doing like those mobile games where they're like the you said and you what was it, the AFK arena, like where you just leave them alone, they auto generate and then I'm starting to get those type of vibes.
Away from the game?
What?
Do you get materials while you're away from the game?
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
You get materials if you leave your base and you have your pals cutting down rocks. You get materials there, but no, when you leave the game, no.
You
For
just use your
the
pals as slaves, essentially.
yes, pals of
Yeah.
slaves.
Pokemon
The
would
end
never
game
do that.
Hey,
is
They would
have
Toledo,
never
I think
treat
Pokemon
they
them
even
like
have
that.
like they can even
slavery.
get like ulcers and stuff.
You would
Yeah, they get
Pokemon Company
injuries,
would
yeah.
never treat them like that.
Bro, Toledo, they even have like morale and like they can like get lazy and you can like make an example of them in front of others
Oh my
to
gosh.
What about a
motivate
weapon
the
defense?
but
other
not
ones.
not that
Slashing
far.
them?
But you can,
No, yes, you
get rid of
can.
them.
Take one of
And
their
you can do the
kids
same
and
thing with humans.
slit their throat right in
If you
front
find
of
Oh
another
them.
my
human being, just
God.
capture them with a Pokeball.
Gosh.
Uh, but to that
This
point about
is
slaves,
this
I
is
think
intense.
PETA even put out like a remark about it too. Oh, PETA about
Yeah.
Palworld. Hilarious. I should look for it, but it was they're also mentioning
Wild.
that it's animal rights and you don't have to eat the animals. You can eat just the berries and the flower and all the other non-animal related
You can be a
food
vegan.
items.
Wow, that's
I don't
wild.
know. Pecking looks delicious. I'm looking at the gameplay, and he looks like, okay, so I'm gonna make a little one of those cut charts where you have them like you can make this with the meat cuts, and you can just like dissect and say what you
Oh,
can
like
use off
the
of
cows,
it.
the parts of
Yeah.
the cow.
Technically, I was looking for it, and I had a buddy of mine who found it. There's an artist that I found a long time ago, and I tried to reach out to see if they had the poster. You know the Cheeps from Mario, the fish.
Yeah.
He made that type of graphic in there with the cut pieces, but in like you can make nigiri sushi and like sushi related stuff with it, and like but it's like a little chart, and then you can say its side options could be like wasabi and soy sauce, and I wanted a poster size of it to have in my place, but since I reached out to the guy on Instagram, he said no, we don't have, like, sorry, we sold out like from a long time ago. Okay, that's fine. My buddy made me upscaled one that was like 2 megs, 12 megs of a file, so I can go print it out myself. So
And I have it framed on your wall, right? Just look at
yeah.
it and laugh.
I'm a big fan of the cheap cheese, but I also wanted the poster because it was unique. That artist also made one with Bowser, with like some of the other Mushroom Kingdom monsters. That like it's really cool.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Hold on. Okay, so all right, so this picture was shared recently, and this is what got really excited about the game. But regardless of
oh my
that,
god,
so I just wanted to clarify or get confirmation of this. So Wolfgang, this isn't you and Dusty AF playing the game.
No, it is. It is. Dustin showed me. It is us.
I just pulled it up on my Xbox. This is no cap.
Here it is. Yeah.
So Toledo, I don't know if you saw this pop up, but yeah,
Original
so-
screenshot by Dusty AF. 4K SDR, cotton 4K, bro.
God is 4K.
So
I need to check you guys' search history.
I wanted to get this confirmed because Wolfgang said no, this was not him. This was a random picture he pulled from the internet.
Yeah,
Because
right.
it looks like someone's on the
Yeah,
ground
you took
and getting
like
picked
that.
up by 2 people. Yeah, I thought it was like a third person being picked up. No, that's Dustin on the ground and me behind him. I thought it was someone on the ground and 2 people picking them up.
Mhm.
So like, well, that's not us. There was never 3 people in our server. So I did not think it was us. They also look very generic. Very generic.
So for
characters,
anybody
bro.
watching, anybody listening, Wolfgang's wife is also on the server this picture was posted. So there was a high possibility that Wolfgang was trying to save face. That's not me. That's a random picture.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I should play it now. So
Well,
Well, it is create a character. So me and Dustin did not know what we were gonna make. Like we made it separately. We
it
didn't
looks
talk
like
to
y'all
each
knew
other.
exactly what y'all were
We
making.
just showed up at the same time with the
You
same
had a
character.
choice between male and female?
Yes.
Oh, so
Yes.
so you knew what you were making.
Oh yeah, but come on, I don't want to play with guys. I want to play with girls. You know. Yeah, she just heard me. She heard me. I said on purpose.
Well, hey,
what's that?
Debbie, don't turn on the pod.
Don't turn on the pod.
Don't put on the podcast.
What was it that this is the same thing in Monster Hunter. In Monster Hunter, you get a choice of playing as a male or female character, and a lot of the guys that play as female characters because if I'm playing if I'm playing a game in third person, I don't want to stare at a guy's ass. I want to stare at a woman's ass.
That was Debbie.
Hey, Dustin, were you there when I got called out for this with a couple of our buddies? I think the question came up. I think I even brought up. I was like, why does everybody always make girls?
That sounds like you.
Yeah, I do
Sounds like your
remember this.
question.
This is
Your kind of
Final Fantasy
question.
14 night.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, why is
exactly.
everybody making girls? And then they're like, well, you usually, and then that's when the conversation came up. Like, you usually make what you want to see. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean about me? I always make characters that look like me.
I know what Wong is talking about. I know what he's talking about. I like to kind of impose myself into the character, saying, "This is who I represent myself as. This is
Yeah,
character.
this is me. Yeah, this is me in the game.
But
I'm
like-
playing this game.
But like,
What does your cyberpunk character look like, Wolfgang?
I don't remember.
Say.
I don't remember. It's been a long time.
no, but Tito, Tito, who would you play more feminine or masculine?
I don't know.
I said
I like
playing
to
with
see
guys.
myself.
I don't know now.
I like to see myself as the characters, I guess. I don't know. Is that weird?
Yeah. No, everyone's different.
Yeah. Usually I
just-
would put myself in it, but I've evolved a bit that if the male models just look terrible, then I'll just make a call.
Weren't you gonna make a cat
depends.
girl in 14, Walter?
Make a big titty goth girl and freaking cyberpunk.
like Wolfgang did.
Oh, and then talking about 14, they did a survey. They did a statistics. Cat girls are the most popular out of all the characters being created, and that tells you a lot of how many people care more about cat girls. So.
Oh. No, actually, I think I actually even have a picture of myself from 14 up on my screen right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's only the back of my character. It's actually a dude, though. Yeah, no. I was wondering. I was like, what did I make my Fantasy 14? Yeah, no, it's a guy with a man bun.
Did you have a man bun back then?
Yeah. Shoot, I wore a man bun for like a good 2 years, right?
Yeah, he did.
Keanu Reeves last Ronin? What?
Oh man. So I mean, we went pretty deep into Palworld. We kind of,
I think it was like the big number one thing right now because it came out after we did our last podcast last week's, and then it came out, and then it was just like the number one thing that's being talked about everywhere.
Crazy is I was the only one excited for it, and I feel like I'm the only one not playing it. Well, I mean, Toledo, Dorky. But,
You're right. I'm the only one not playing it. Three of us are not. Two of us are.
more
than half of us here
I
aren't playing
didn't
it.
expect to be on the non-playing half. Oh man! But to be fair, once it said game preview or early access, my hype did fizz down.
You said once it said Xbox exclusive, that's when it's down? What was
No, I was like, ironically, Incomplete Game would be carrying Game Pass right now. But speaking of Game Pass, Microsoft, we have some sad news. It looks like they announced in the last couple hours that they are letting go of about 1,900 employees. The entire internal customer support team from their Activision deal, shutdown of departments. What do we think, guys? Rolly?
Did you read that second part? What department they're shutting down?
The physical retail?
Yeah. The teams dedicated to bringing the physical retail games, they're shutting them all down.
Wait, is that in addition to the folks at Activision?
Yes.
In addition to the folks at Activision. So 1,900 total employees.
That was just announced not long after that. And I think it's pretty sad because, one...
Is Xbox dead?
No, because they're talking about growth.
Physical retail is.
I think there's a trend starting to be like where most games are gonna go all digital. Well, technically, most AAA games.
I
Like the
think the
first,
no. I think the adorable Xbox whatever next gen thingamabobber that they had. I think that's coming. This is a sign.
a digital only
Adorably
console,
digital.
Oh yeah,
The
did you guys
adorably
see that
digital.
quote where they were like, consumers need to get used to not owning their games.
Yeah,
Ubisoft.
yeah. We talked about
Ubisoft.
we touched on that last week.
You
Yep.
want to move to just completely. You're essentially renting a game for years. Like you're never gonna own any games. So
Correct.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
we're
I already
not-
don't own my movies. I don't own my music. Why in the hell am I gonna own my games?
right, like right now with our digital games, like we don't even own those really, right? Like we just
No,
people are like,
if
well,
they
why can't we
decide,
just pirate them if we don't own them?
and then they'll try to
can't we
pull
what?
off, oh, we have a license on everything, and you got to read the terms of service. Well, who's gonna sit there and read the whole terms of service? That's like what 20 pages long. No one's gonna sit there and do that. But they're
Even
trying
then,
to pull
if you
that.
disagree with it, who cares? Other people are gonna agree with it. You just won't play the game then. Won't buy the game. They don't care about one person not buying the game.
Yeah, but if we have everyone not buying the game, then that can hurt them. But and so I have been through because these are mergers. So Microsoft buys and takes a company, and they start merging it within their own company. But now you got a bunch of roles of what do we do here in the business
redundant
side.
roles.
So and there's some overlap. So they're trying to readjust for that, but at the cost of people losing their jobs, which is pretty sad because it wasn't just, oh, hey, we need to make these changes. It was more like a lot of these employees go online and they find out, oh, Microsoft's going to be letting go like 1,900 employees, and then everyone's finding out, wait, what? Like, who? And then now people are worried and freaking out, like, who's next? Like, who's gonna be on the chopping block for this part? Who's gonna be in this phase? So they don't know if they were gonna be part of the the layoffs or not, because it's not like how some companies do. They just bring you in a meeting and say, hey, here's the plans, and they do it internally. We're gonna have to go through everyone. We're gonna have to make stuff. It was more like, hey, we made the announcement and people finding out publicly, and you're just like, what? And physical retail, I wish we still have physical. I don't. The only time that I would do physical is of games that I want. Other games that are digital, if they can at least leave the servers up to get us everything without having any problems, I wouldn't mind that. But at the same time, as we all agree, like, we don't own them, so pirating's probably the next big thing. But it's just sad to hear about that.
Yeah. It's our future, guys. That's our future. On top of that, it sounds like Microsoft just continues the bad news train I guess, to hide it underneath Palworld. Microsoft cancels Blizzard's Project Odyssey. And this was a survival MMO after 6 years of development, guys. What do you think? What do you think, Will? Does that upset you? Another lost survival game?
So I was actually wasn't. I'm not usually big on MMOs, so not that much. I
But it was
am
a survival MMO.
That's true, but I'm still not big on MMOs. Like I
Punch
did
all the trees.
the other MMO was Heroes of the Storm, HOTS. I don't. I think is that still going? They shut that down too. Anybody? No one plays battle arenas.
I'm
Anyway,
not
point
sure.
is,
Pokemon Unite.
yeah, I'm not too big on these MMO games. Like the last one, does No Man's Sky count as an MMO? Like maybe that was the last one I played. I don't.
Is it?
I can't remember.
I didn't even know you could play with people.
That's an
now.
MMO.
It's online. It's an online game. Well, it can be.
Yeah.
Be offline
I'm
too.
surprised they canceled this one after 6 years of development, but I think this is more Microsoft kind of learning their lesson with like Redfall. They see a failing project, they cannot afford to release it at this point.
They saw Palworld, we're like, we got one. We're good.
No, I think it's more so that they finally merged completely with Blizzard Activision. Like they were like, you're making that. If we acquire you, we're canceling that project. Just FYI. I think they didn't believe in it from the beginning. Not so much, oh, this is gonna turn out badly. I think they didn't want it. Because what was the last Xbox survival MMO game you heard of? Like, no, they were not gonna release something like this.
But,
Okay.
yeah. Next thing I have on here, guys, Embracer. We all know that group, right? Own Black Forest Games, developers of the upcoming TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, has also laid off nearly 50% of this studio. Is this game doomed, guys?
I feel like they're gonna struggle. It's gonna be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, reducing toward the campaign, or they push it back. So
No,
either
I
it's
don't think this game had any online.
no, it was still in development because they only made a teaser that they were working on it. It was gonna be, I think, a single player game based off of the comics of the Last Ronin. I actually have a copy right here.
Ooh, he came prepared today.
Ooh, came prepared.
You
Oh,
can't see it in the camera that well, and also for the people, it's the Last Ronin,
oh
but
my
it's
god,
the
that book is like it works better than my chair. Like how's that?
but basically,
Wait, is the
it's
book good?
my plan was to read it this weekend. It is basically
Okay.
a story set like in an alternate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's like a different story where it's just one of the turtles just surviving through all this stuff, and it's I'll give you feedback by next week once I finish reading through it. But I bought the thing that has the original run that has all the issues in there, and then there's like an extra set that was called the Lost Years that takes like a prequel, and there's like another one, but I don't think they've released a full compilation yet. But yeah, I heard really good things. I had a buddy who told me about it, and I was like, you know what? I found it at the comic book store that's nearby my place, and I said, you know, let me get it. I've been wanting to. I wanted to read something different. So
It
I've
came
been.
It came out like 2010 or 11 or right?
I believe so.
I think I remember it during my comic book era.
I
why
think
is
it
it not?
was.
I think it's not so much going to get canceled. I think they're going to keep pushing it back. There was no release date, so internally they're just going to keep going and going. Anyway, Dead Island 2 took what 7 years to release, right? It was announced in what
Well, I think
2014.
it's like 10 or 11.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I
First one
think they're
came
just
out
going to
like
keep going and
2012.
going.
2011, 2012.
But I don't
Oh.
think
Jump
it's
down to
canceled.
run Dead Island 2. Well, not one, but we can run 2.
Hey, I'll run 2 too. I
I
have
need
it.
to run part one
PlayStation.
first.
There we go.
No,
We
you
got
don't.
2 people.
Oh,
You
Tito.
don't need to run part 1 first.
It
Oh, I
started.
need to run.
The run started in October 2020. The first
He
issue.
paid $6 for that.
Oh,
He needs to get his $6 worth.
Ronin
Damn
came out
right.
in 2020?
And it's on PlayStation extra
Oh,
catalog.
I'm sorry. No, I was
double.
talking about the Last Ronin for
Oh,
him. Yeah.
Oh, last one that came out in 2020, and they're already making a video game for it.
Yeah, it was like 5 issues. But I think it's just they just took their time, you know, because they're in pandemic and all. So,
No?
but we
Man.
all get these games, and I remember Walter talking about playing Tiny Tina by himself, so he can just get through it
Better do
himself.
I'm gonna do it.
Right. I was
I
waiting for
w-
the invite. Never
I
showed up.
was gonna
Wait
do
for-
it, but then I picked up The Last of Us 2. Like that was like I had no hype
not-
for that game, and then all of a sudden, like Dave released, it kind of kept popping
I'm-
up on X, and I was like,
I'm gonna
all right,
when you get done with it, I had to personally talk to you when you get done with that game,
Last
because
of Us.
yeah, I
Oh
will
my
need
God,
your
that has me
feedback
crying.
about story wise. So.
I'm like,
Yeah.
No discussions here, no spoilers for people that haven't played it who are planning to play it. But
The game's like 3 or 4 years old, guys. So,
hey, I'm only 25%. I've already
See?
a quarter done.
there's people who are born who have never seen The Empire Strikes Back, and they
Indiana
don't
Jones
need to know.
movies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's you.
Empire Strikes Back. No one knows the twists in the middle of it after watching A New Hope. So I mean, we
That's
still
true.
got people.
I didn't know the Final Fantasy VII Sephiroth kills someone. I didn't know that.
Oh
Found that
wow, you just
Oh,
gonna
that's
spoil
major
like that?
spoilers, bro. Come
Wow,
on.
I didn't
Dusty
know,
hasn't
man.
played it
Wow,
yet.
boo.
Oh, come
Who's gonna
on.
play it?
You know what?
All over the
You're
internet,
muted
alright?
for the rest of the
Ooh,
podcast.
It's like a
Muted
month
for
before
the
the
rest of the
part 2 comes
podcast.
out. Oh my god.
He edits his part just.
That's
Nah,
it. Take
this
his
is
face
tough,
off.
isn't it?
Take his face off the pod.
Wow.
It's been deleted.
Okay, he's
Come
back.
on,
He's back.
Wolfgang.
But
Come on,
I'm
Wolfgang.
hoping, honestly, talking back about like the layoffs and stuff, I hope it isn't like a continuous trend because I remember I wanted to do game development, I wanted to do 3D modeling and stuff, but I felt like it wasn't even back then it wasn't as stable. You can have the very successful game, but if you don't hit those numbers that their expected sales, chances are your studio's gonna move you over, close you down, or let you go. Like uh the people who developed what's that detective game that came out in 360 PS3 um from
LA
Rockstar,
Noir.
Batman.
LA Noir.
Batman. Oh, not Batman.
LA Noir.
6 years in
Batman was good.
development.
So was Noir, apparently.
6 years in development, and it didn't make it. It was successful in its own way, and it was still popular enough. But the devs got the studio shut down like not long after that. So whether you're successful enough, but you're not hitting the numbers that they're wanting to aim because of the shareholders, people are losing their jobs because it wasn't enough. Like, oh, it was just averaged, and they just get closed down. The other thing too is they re-released a game in current gen or PS4, Xbox One, Switch. LA Noir is playable in those games. They did like re-releases with like updated graphics, but are the original developers ever going to see a cent to that royalty wise? I'm talking in an artistic perspective too. Like you create something, but I know there's contracts that saying once you create something, it belongs to them because you're making it for the company. But it's like those then oh it wasn't successful, but they still re-release it later on down the road. It doesn't make sense for me.
I, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to go sideways here. Hey, in Palworld, when you knock them out, can you catch them, or they
No,
have
you
to-
knock them out. They have to wake up first.
Oh, okay. So you don't kill them, but you could eat them, but you don't kill them in the
You
wild.
can kill them. You can kill
God.
them.
I hate
But
this game.
when you knock
Oh.
them out, they're just knocked out.
Real quick about
Remember,
LA Noir, the remastered. I bought that on Switch for like $45. I never even played it.
Oh
I
my god.
actually uninstalled it because I needed more memory on my Switch to play something else. That is my worst invested game ever.
Wow.
And it was like $45 too. It was super expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Kind of like what
Okay.
Dorothy was talking about the contracts. I think the Witcher writer creator tried to sue CD Projekt because he's like, you're making so much money from The Witcher 3, I want my cut. But he signed a contract saying he's only going to get paid a certain amount, not continuously get paid, whatever he wanted to. So he was just doing it just so he can have more money and, drag on a legal battle and make CD Projekt look bad. So they just paid him off.
There you go.
Hopefully, no more layoffs later this week. But I'm gonna cross my fingers that I didn't jinx more people. So
Yeah.
Oh, and I was having Mac issues earlier. We were talking about the digital future. I think the people that want the digital future are people that have subscriptions. What Ubisoft said it, don't own your games. They have Ubisoft Connect, Ubisoft Plus, whatever it's called. Xbox getting rid of their physical edition. They have Game Pass. They want you to be on Game Pass. Like, so far, the biggest, advocates for physical media is probably Gamefly. Their whole thing is to ship you video games in the mail, which was great. Loved it.
Hey, don't forget about Nintendo and PlayStation. They still like their physical.
That's true. Nintendo does like the physical games. And Redbox used to have physical games. They got rid of it, and I'm sad about it.
oh yeah, the red
yeah.
boxes nearby me have been shut down because I guess people were breaking them or something.
People would cheat too. They would get a different DVD, put it in the thing, and slip it into the.
And I think they get the barcode for it too, so they'll just put it on the. So I've heard of the people who printed out a copy of the disc enough to be viewable, and they put it in the case and they put it in there, and it gets read as like, oh, you return your DVD, but then they keep the original one.
Yeah. See, if people weren't terrible, we'd have physical media.
This is why we can't have nice things.
That and greedy CEOs and
All right.
executives.
With that, guys, we are running out of time. And before we get into our self promotions and outros, let's do Dusty AF's favorite part of the pod. This week's pettiest gamer of the week goes to.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, we're not going to scream it out loud this time.
Who's gonna say it?
I would like to nominate Rolly. I think Rolly or Dorky was
Why?
pretty petty today.
Why was I pretty petty today?
I was like, yep.
I said let's give it to Wolfgang.
What'd I do?
He lied about his anime character.
You did.
Oh, that's right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Was petty.
Why am I
And then
getting-
you
You try
lied
to
about
cover
his
yourself on
Cyberpunk
Discord.
character?
Oh no, I truly thought that wasn't us. The most generic
No,
character.
no,
we could
no.
find.
You knew that was us.
truly.
You knew that was us.
I did not.
It's like,
You see
no,
what's
this
going on
just
on the
found
screen
out
right now? Yeah, you knew that was us.
I did
You knew
not.
where you got into.
I nominate, Tyler. Just nominate everybody today because he called it sacrilegious.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Pokemon,
All right.
represent.
All right. So, Toledo, you have the tiebreaker here. Out of Dorky, Wolfgang,
And yourself.
Or Walter, or yourself.
or me, how would that?
Uh,
Who
Yeah,
is the
Wolf's
petty
just
gamer
petty all
of
the
the week?
time.
I gotta give it to Wolfgang, man.
Yeah.
Man, there you
He
go.
is adamant
There
about
we go.
making his big titty goth girls, and he is going to do whatever it takes at any cost to make sure that he
Nobody
has
knows
the
that's him.
best looking create your own character ever. And for that dedication, you, my friend, are the petty player of the week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wolfgang.
Thank you. Walter.
Wolfgang. All right. With that, guys, let's dig into our self promotions. Do we have anything, guys? I'll go ahead and get it started. Mine are super quick. You can follow me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at allday_Wong. I've been pretty active there lately. And then also YouTube, if you want to follow me here on YouTube at alldaywong10. Again, alldaywong10. That's all for me, guys.
You can find me on Dorky Raptor on most things. I'm gonna try once I get my Gundam going. I'm gonna put some Instagram pics for the Gundam in there, so you can find me at Dorky Raptor on there. And so hopefully, and then also just like if you want to follow me on there too. So
Go.
Just look up Toledo Frito and something will come up. Hopefully, I'm on there.
Toledo Freedom.
Yeah,
And
mine's
where
King
can we
of the
find
Great.
your waifu characters?
Yeah, I actually don't do many of those, or any of those. So, in case you didn't know, Tyler was joking.
I am joking, guys.
Thank you, Walter.
We love Wolfgang.
But yeah, you can find me on YouTube. I'll have the links in the description for the YouTube video. Well, actually, I think Dustin will have the links in the description. But yeah, watch me play Shiv and now Palworld.
All right. So I am Dusty AF. Find me on TikTok. Find me on Twitter. You can find me. You can probably find my archive of IG. I don't have a plug this week. Like I said, Switchbox sucks. I don't drink Wonder Bear coffee anymore. But I do have a shout out to Levels Whey Protein, the vanilla cinnamon flavor. I just tried this one this week. Made a coffee out of it, and it is so fire. Y'all guys gotta be. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to plug y'all in. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure everyone eats. You know what I'm saying?
we're doing plugs
Yeah, go try
now.
I throw the games
Sponsored
in
by them
there.
or something?
Nisi
Good
Cup
games.
Ramen. I'm kidding.
How much are they paying you for sponsorships?
Oh man. But all right, guys, I think
That
that
should be your
closes it up.
background.
I want to thank everybody for joining our petty show this week. If you enjoyed our banter and want a little more, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, hit the notification bell before Wolfgang gets mad at you. Your support will always help us level up, so please do that. Until next time, fellow gamers, may your frame rates be high and your loot drops be legendary. Make sure I say that right. Happy tree punching, everybody. This is the Somewhat Petty Podcast. We're signing out. Later.